Well, this is kind of a weird story because a lot of the rumors we were hearing about Marvel projects that were going on behind the scenes turned out to be true, and now Deadline has reported them canceled. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about several really high-profile projects, including Nova and Strange Academy, that have apparently been shelved by Marvel Studios. Well, honestly, guys, this one kind of caught me off guard and I found a little shocking. Now, as many of you know, we hear lots from the rumor mill that seems to reveal projects Marvel Studios is working on but have not been officially announced. If you follow this kind of content, you know this is pretty much a constant thing, and often projects seem to evaporate into the ether and then we never really get a distinctive answer. But not this time. Now, earlier today, we got a really big report from Deadline, and it appears Marvel is cleaning up their upcoming slate of projects that, well, they were working on, but they never officially announced. Now, Marvel Television head Brad Wunderbaum had warned in the past that the studio is developing more than we can make, and it appears several projects have found their way up onto the shelf. Now, according to Deadline, Nova, Strange Academy, and Terror Inc. have all been shelved at this point. Now, according to the trade, none of the projects were ever officially, quote, greenlit, and may still come to fruition at some point, but that Marvel Studios has simply shifted priorities. Now, one of the main reasons apparently these shows have been paused is this new approach that Marvel Studios is taking to developing television shows. Originally, all their shows were kind of handled like movies, where you had a head writer to pen the series, and they brought in a couple of directors to helm the project. Now, that approach clearly did not always work out, despite some big wins, and became a very pricey venture as Marvel did more and more reshoots as production wrapped. This is not something television typically does. That's a movie thing, so this caused many of the shows to be really expensive, some costing north of $20 million an episode. Additionally, Kevin Feige has been stretched pretty thin, and announcing TV shows in advance really does put a lot of pressure on the studios to deliver on the timeline, and if you know anything about Kevin Feige, you know he likes to hit release dates. Now what they're doing is they're going to try a more traditional development process, with more projects being worked on than get made. A traditional greenlight structure has been implemented, and multiple seasons are a priority now over standalone shows teeing up future movies, which honestly, considering the budget and development cost, well, that does make a lot of sense. I always found it sort of weird that Marvel would develop a show, build the sets, develop the costumes, get these writing teams to set up these characters, and then it was over after one season. Obviously, they've had some two-season shows, but this is something that definitely cost Marvel a ton of money and really was bad for a return on investment. Now, Sabir Prazo was first hired to write Nova back in 2022, and Feige and Wunderbaum have both spoke pretty positively about the project, and it was even going to set up Annihilus and potentially the Annihilus Wave. Heck, last December, Ed Bernardo was tapped to be the new writer and showrunner, so this one looked like it was definitely going to happen, but now, apparently not. It appears also we were supposed to get Strange Academy, but that was going to focus on Benedict Wong's character, Wong, and focus on him teaching this next generation of sorcerers, I think kind of peeling out of the end of Multiverse of Madness as they were rebuilding Karmatage. I also suspect America Chavez was going to be part of that show. Now, the more interesting one, though, in this whole list was Terror Inc., which was created back in 1992, and the character, Terror, can incorporate body parts into his form, gathering their memories and abilities. Kinda could have been a fun horror series, but definitely lands on the C-list of characters from Marvel Studios. It's going to be really curious to see how Marvel handles a lot of this going forward. I do understand lightening the load and making sure they get the stuff that's coming up perfect. It's super important for Marvel to nail Doomsday and Secret Wars, which should help the MCU really get their mojo back and would encourage people to give some of these type of projects a chance, a bit of goodwill that has been spent that Marvel Studios definitely no longer has. As I saw this morning, Marvel is no longer bulletproof, and the faith in that has definitely impacted fan response to stuff that doesn't look, well, instantly relatable. Obviously, we cover everything Marvel here, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And as soon as we get more news on the story, I'm going to bring it to you right away, but I gotta know what you guys think. How do you feel about Marvel shelving up some of these projects, at least for a little while? And which one leaves you the most disappointed? Sound off in the comments below. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the real, truthful superhero news, and we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are really, really in the know.